Hi, this is Sophia, and welcome to Philosophy with Sophia. Today, I wanted to talk about Plato's cave story. Plato was an ancient Greek philosopher, and this is a story that he told that was supposed to show part of the philosophy that he believed in and created. So the story goes like this. There's a cave, and there are these people, and they live in this cave, and they're tied for some reason in this cave so that they can only see one wall of the cave, and they can see shadows on the cave that are reflected from the world outside, but they don't know about the world outside. All they can see is the shadows, and so they think that that's all that exists. And so one day, one of the cave people somehow gets untied, because I guess he's magical or something. But anyway, he goes outside into the world and he sees everything that they've been seeing shadows of, and he's like, oh my god, this is amazing. Like, all this stuff is so much cooler than all the shadows that are inside our cave. Because if you'd only seen a shadow of something before and then you saw the real thing, it'd be like amazing. And so instead of just being like, oh, cool, I'm just gonna stay out here, he's like, I'm gonna tell my fellow cave people, because he's a nice person. So he goes back to the cave and he's like, guys, outside there are these super cool things. They're like these shadows, but like a billion times better, and they look like them, but they have so much cooler things and they look so much cooler, and like, you guys should come with me and I can show you these things. And they kill him. Kind of a downer story, but it has a point. So first of all, the cave person who goes and sees the things and then comes back and is killed by the cave people was sort of based off Socrates, who was Plato's mentor and who called himself the gadfly of Athens, like stinging the people of Athens into life by asking them questions and making them think about things. And he was killed by them. Well, he wasn't killed by them because he drank poison, but it was because they kind of made him, so technically that counts as the same thing, I would say. But the main point of the cave story is that Plato's philosophy, he sort of thought there was like another world that everything here was a reflection of, like how you would see a shadow of something and what we see in our world is shadows. He thought it was like gingerbreads, like gingerbread men molds are like a perfect version of a gingerbread man, and you make little gingerbread men out of them, and sometimes the gingerbread men are like a little deformed, like the dough spreads out a little bit and then it looks kind of weird, or it's burnt, or their arm breaks off or something, but you still know they're gingerbread men because you've seen the mold, so you can tell that they're all gingerbread men. So Plato thought that we were all, like, our essence was from this world with the molds. So when we saw something in real world, like for example a horse, all horses look different, like they have different patterns, and sometimes their faces look a little different, or like their feet are shorter or something, but like we know they're all horses. If you see a horse, you're like, yeah, that's a horse. And he thought it was because we came from this mold world and we'd seen the molds when we were like not alive yet, and we like remembered that but subconsciously, and he thought everything in that world was like better and our world was just like the bad version of that. But I think he also kind of thought that if anyone like tried to say this, everyone would be like, no, that's not real, like our world's fine, everything here is good. And that's how the cave people were in the story. They were like, no, our shadows are fine, there's nothing else, what are you even talking about, like you gotta die. So he thought that if anyone in our world was like, oh yeah, there's this other world and stuff, everyone else would just be like, you gotta die, that's not even true though. So that's basically the gist of Plato's cave story. And of course, there are a lot of other things about his philosophy that I haven't really gone into here, but I mainly just wanted to talk about the cave story because I think it's a really interesting story and a really interesting metaphor for what Plato thought was actually going on, or I guess it's more of a simile. Metaphors and similes are the same thing, never mind. Yeah, I think it's a really interesting story, and Plato's an interesting philosopher. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned something about Plato, and I'll see you in the next video.